It was a moment no one expected. A U.S.-made missile fired at a U.S. aircraft. A tank built in Detroit, now rolling through a foreign battlefield, its gun pointed at American allies. How did we get here? This is not science fiction. It's a recurring pattern in modern warfare, and it raises a haunting question. What happens when America's own military technology turns against America?
In 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, U.S. forces faced a troubling reality. Some of the tanks and armored vehicles used by Saddam Hussein's army had once been supplied by Western allies or built using Western designs. But that was just the beginning. In the 2000s, American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan encountered insurgents using U.S.-made rifles, night vision equipment, and even armored vehicles, captured, stolen, or sold on the black market. And in 2021, as the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan, billions of dollars in American military equipment were left behind. Within weeks, images surfaced of Taliban fighters wearing U.S. gear, driving U.S. Humvees, and even piloting Black Hawk helicopters. The very tools designed to protect American lives, now in the hands of those who oppose them.
To understand how we got here, we must go back. Back to the Cold War. Back to a time when the United States believed that technological superiority was the ultimate safeguard. From the 1950s onward, America invested heavily in cutting-edge military systems, jet engines, radar, guided missiles, and later, stealth technology. The idea was simple: stay ahead and you stay safe. But there was another side to this strategy. To maintain influence, the U.S. began exporting military hardware to allies around the world. From South Korea to Saudi Arabia, from Israel to Egypt, American weapons became a global currency of diplomacy. What began as a tool of alliance became a double-edged sword.
Military technology, once exported, rarely stays contained. Sometimes allies fall. In 1979, the Shah of Iran, once a close U.S. partner, was overthrown. The new regime inherited a vast arsenal of American weapons, including F-14 Tomcats and Phoenix missiles. Sometimes equipment is captured. In Syria, ISIS fighters seized American-made weapons from fleeing Iraqi troops. In Libya, after the fall of Gaddafi, U.S. arms sent to rebels ended up in the hands of extremists. And sometimes it's simply sold. On the black market, a single U.S.-made Stinger missile can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars. Once in circulation, these weapons can be used against anyone, American or not. Technology, once unleashed, has no loyalty.
Perhaps no example is more symbolic than the FIM-92 Stinger missile. In the 1980s, the U.S. supplied thousands of these shoulder-fired anti-aircraft weapons to Afghan mujahideen fighting the Soviet Union. It was a strategic masterstroke. Soviet helicopters began falling from the sky. But after the war, many of those missiles disappeared. Some were sold, some were hidden, and years later, some were used in conflicts where American aircraft were at risk. The weapon that once helped defeat communism became a threat to American pilots.
The United States faces a paradox. Its military power depends on advanced technology, but that same technology, when exported or lost, can become a liability. Unlike the industrial wars of the 20th century, modern conflicts are asymmetric. A single drone, a single missile, a single cyber exploit can shift the balance. And as technology becomes more portable, more autonomous, and more connected, the risks multiply. In a world where yesterday's ally can become tomorrow's adversary, how do you control what you've already shared?
There's another battlefield, one without tanks or missiles: the digital domain. In recent years, American defense contractors have been targeted by cyber espionage. Blueprints for stealth fighters, missile systems, and encryption protocols have been stolen, often by state-sponsored hackers. Some of these designs have reappeared in foreign aircraft and weapons systems. Others have been used to develop countermeasures. When your enemy knows how your technology works, your advantage disappears.
So what is the lesson? The United States remains the most technologically advanced military power in the world. But power without control is a dangerous game. Exporting weapons may strengthen alliances, but it also creates long-term vulnerabilities. Relying on technological superiority may win battles, but not necessarily wars. And as history has shown, the tools of war often outlive the intentions of those who created them. The day U.S. military technology turns against America is not a single day. It is a slow unfolding, a consequence of decisions made decades earlier, a reminder that in warfare, as in history, every advantage carries a cost.
Perhaps the real question is not whether our technology will be used against us, but whether we are prepared for the moment it is. Because in the end, the greatest threat may not be the weapon itself, but the illusion that we can always control it.